I came to Lincoln Recovery Center July 5th, 1973. Jesus Christ, that is so long ago. Okay. Is that Bob or Carlos laughing at me?
That's not me. Don't blame me.
I had met the director's wife one day. I was registering my last kid for school, and she was over there at the school, and she said her husband was looking for a nurse for their program. And I was like, okay, I need another job. I got kids getting ready to go to college. Let me see what I can do here. So I was licensed practical nurse at the time, graduated from Evander Childs High School. I had an A in English, which my mother was very happy about. But revolutionary stuff was not my gig until I went to Lincoln Recovery Center. And I walked in the auditorium and I saw my dear Carlos there with a kufiya on that I thought was a yarmulke. And I'm saying to myself, what is this good Jewish boy doing in the middle of all these revolutionaries? Little did I find out he was the worst one, okay? And that's when I got started, way back when, okay?
Okay.
I was kind of quiet at the time, and I think I didn't talk for 5 years. These people were a little intimidating, and I felt if I kept quiet, nobody would know how scared I was to be there. You know? But after those 5 years, you couldn't shut me up. So that's how I got started there. No, we hadn't started. We were a methadone detoxification program. Mm-hmm. We detoxed you off methadone 5 milligrams every 3 days. That worked exceptionally well if I didn't tell you that you were detoxing. Because on your last day, I gave you 3 days with no medication, and you did fine until I told you that your time was up, and then everybody got sick at the end of the table. Oh, no, I can't. This hurts. That hurts. No way. You've been drug-free for 3 days, and things seem to have been going well. So that's what we did then. But we had the older population on methadone, and they got tired of coming 5 days a week. They couldn't go away for the weekends because they had to come on Saturdays, pick up their meds, come back on Mondays. So we were looking for another way to do this detox situation here. And that's when Mike Smith came up with acupuncture that he had gotten from Dr. Wu. So that's how we got into that. I, as a LPN, decided that, when I stick you with a needle, it needs to have something in it, okay? Because I wasn't buying into this acupuncture because we were pinning people and with needles but a needle. So after a while, it dawned on me that this was working exceptionally well, and I needed to pay attention. And it took me a long time to gear into that, and it took another long time for me to allow people to stick me because I'm scared of needles, quiet as it's kept. And that doesn't go well for being a nurse. I give a good needle, though. If I stick you, you don't feel it. But for you to stick me, that's a whole nother ball game. And I think the first person I let stick me might have been Carlos, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'll tell you something. Just to go back a little bit, when Nancy at first, back in the early 70s, came to the auditorium to check it out to see if... Because Dr. Smith, Mike, has said to me, I have a nurse coming this afternoon, so I'd like you to interview her. Now, the funny thing about it is that it wasn't so funny. We had people coming in for interviews, and some people I would ask, have you ever worked with addiction or with people that have problems with drug abuse? And somehow I felt like they had this mindset always an addict. Will always be an addict. An alcoholic will always be an alcoholic. Like if there wasn't any hope. And so I could see in their demeanor that they weren't really the right people to be working there. I didn't see the compassion and the dedication at first. Somehow I was intuitive to that. So when Nancy comes in, you know, I looked at her and she looked at me and I said to her abruptly, "Have you ever worked with addicts before?" She says, "What, are you kidding me? I come from Dawson." So Dawson Street is where I think she was raised.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I
And
moved
she
there
went
when I
on
was...
to say, go ahead, Nancy, and then just say what you had said to me back then.
No, you tell me what I said. I don't remember. I'm scared.
Well, she actually said that yes, that you know, she knows the situation and the culture, and so
and
anyway,
I told him I probably grew up with half of the people that you got in this program.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went back to my.
I was very indignant about it because how dare he ask me something like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Sitting there looking like a Jewish boy. I was not having that.
Well, what happened was that a lot of people that had come in prior to her, like I said, you know, working with addicts wasn't their cup of tea. But I can see that Nancy, you know, was rough around the feathers, but I could see that she was able to handle the situation at hand. And boy, did she.
Oh, it's MSAS, was Maternal Substance Abuse Services. Now, how we got there was we were doing acupuncture. The mayor threw us out of Lincoln Hospital, so we had to find someplace else to practice.
That's Mayor Koch, by the way.
Mayor Koch. So we trotted ourselves over to this public health building on 140th Street because we knew some guys there, and they told us that the building was empty and we could come over there. But needless to say, nobody thought that the patients would all follow us over there. So now we're doing acupuncture like on a Friday, we might have 300 people. We had to give out numbers. And it was like Friday was half a day because we had to do the paperwork. We had to catch up on the paperwork some kind of time. And the thing was, we had a lot of women in the program simply because we had no catchment area. We had no time frame. You could bring your kids. We were just inundated with women because crack was out there. And they were having problems. Lincoln Hospital had a border baby problem. The women were coming in, delivering babies and running out the door when the nurse wasn't looking and leaving the baby behind. All right? So we had to do something. So one day, Mike calls me on the phone. I'm downstairs in the nurse's office with the doctor who was Naomi Rabinowitz at the time. And we were doing physicals down there. And when Naomi would leave, I'd pull out my James Patterson book because I'm a diehard James Patterson fan. So I get a phone call. Nancy, yes, I need you to come upstairs. Oh, really? Who's this? Mike? Oh, okay. So I go upstairs. I figure, oh, hell, what did I do now? Something happened. All right. So I go upstairs and I go in the office and he shuts the door and I'm like, he says, have a seat. I said, no, I think I'll stand because Mike is short and I'm a lot taller than him and I wanted to be in charge of whatever was coming down the road here. Okay. So he said, we have a lot of women coming in and out of here. I said, yeah, I know. And I think we should start a program. I said, what the hell do I want to do that for? I'm lazy. I'm a Leo. I don't want to sweat unnecessarily here. So I said, well, give me the book. He said, well, there is no book. What do you mean there's no book? Everything operational has a book. He said, no, you can do this. Just sit down, lay it out, put it together, and bring it back to me, and we're going to do it. And I had thought the man lost his mind. Okay. I said, all right, so suppose it doesn't work. He said, well, nobody will know it doesn't work but me and you. I said, okay, I want you to write that down and put it up under the fraud file on your desk, and we shall proceed. So that's how we started in, I think it was January 1, 1987, if I'm not correct.
It was 1987.
It was 1987?
Yeah.
Joanne, is that you?
Yeah.
It was 1987?
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
that's
to,
how we...
Nancy, just to
Yes,
interject, the first NADA meeting that we had was at 349 East 140th Street in Alexander Avenue, and it was 1985.
Okay, so NADA wasn't
NADA.
forced
She's
before
talking about
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's NADA, but maternal substance abuse was started January 1, 1987. Okay, and it was the very first totally women's-orientated drug program ever tried. Okay, and believe me, we were inundated with women because it was simple. As a woman, I knew what needed to be done. I just wanted to see if it was going to work. Because, you know, women ain't staying with you all day. I don't care what you're giving out. Because they got kids to feed, men to take care of, pets to walk, stuff going on at their house. So our program was from 8:30 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, which is just fine because at 1 o'clock, my TV program, all my children came on. So everybody went to lunch at 1 o'clock, and it was lovely. Okay? There was, and they had to see a light at the end of the tunnel, so you couldn't have it go on forever. So our program escalated from 6 weeks to 3 months simply because we had Bureau of Child Welfare, Family Court, all kind of other agencies were referring their women clients to us. So it worked out well. We started it then. And in a year, we saw over 1,500 women, okay, wow, with positive outcomes. My outcomes were 75 to 80% positive on the first year, and it just kept getting better and better. Simply because, like I said, we had no waiting list. We had no catchment area. You weren't there all day. Counselors gave out a lot of TLC. You know, it just was like family. After they finished the program, they always wanted to come back, okay? That was the problem. You can't come back too soon. You have to stay gone. But they knew if they got in trouble, we were there, and we were going to take them back no matter what.
I just want to give a little point of information. Nancy, I could remember the struggles that you had with Lincoln Hospital just to get Pampers and other necessities that the women needed. You could tell them a little bit about that.
Well, we had to get Pampers. We had to get milk. I had a lot of these women in the hotel and homeless. You know, they had no money, so I would order them from Lincoln, and they would give me grief about it, okay? But then I would go to Mike. Mike had a slush fund that we could get money from to buy the stuff that Lincoln Hospital wasn't giving me, okay? When HIV was first out, I had one of my women was pregnant, and she delivered, and the person delivering her lunch put it on a tray outside of the room. Well, what did they do that for? Because I was over at the hospital and I taught them a new one, you know, and that caused them to give classes on HIV and how you catch AIDS and all the rest of that, because I wanted you to be knowledgeable. How dare you do that to one of my women? So whenever they heard the name Nancy Smalls, everybody got a little excited. Make sure your stuff is in order, because I am over there. It's my program. I'm responsible, and you're going to do it right, or you're not going to do it at all.
And Nancy, just to follow up, because your program was so successful, what happened with the finances after they saw your success?
We got $250,000 from who was it? We got $250,000 to start the program, and then one of the guys came down from Albany. His name was Barry Sherman, and they wanted us to do a program on pregnant women, which was called Sisters. And that was the very first prenatal outpatient program that anybody ever tried. And that was even more successful. Those ladies, they stayed 6 to 9 months. And then what was so funny with that, after they finished, they completed the program successfully, about 3 months later, I see one, what's going on with you? What you doing back here? Oh, I'm pregnant again, so you can't kick me out this time. I said, oh my God, we must be doing something right. You know, and that program was very, very successful. Very.
Now, I just want to interject.
That was started in 1991. My partner in crime, Joanne Robinson, she put that together.
Right.
Jeanette.
So what I was going to say is
I'm not Joanne. I mean Jeanette Robinson. I'm sorry.
Right. So you started in 87, success a year later. In 1988, we had this bill signed into a chapter in the New York State Senate by Senator Donovan, who introduced the actual acupuncture modality in the legislature. And in 1989, Governor Cuomo signed the legislation to be able to do auricular acupuncture under the supervision of a licensed MD who had 300 hours of acupuncture certification. So at that particular time, of course, the only people that can do acupuncture were the doctors who had the 300 hours of acupuncture certification. And ironically, we were all, as counselors, doing acupuncture in the clinic, which had 75 lounge chairs in this huge room. And so acupuncture, not only for ear acupuncture, but also they had full body acupuncture. And one of the main people there was Jose Aponte, who happened to be one of the pioneers. And Rosa Reyes, of course, was there doing herbology and full body acupuncture. So what happens? I think in 1989, at the end of the year, this guy comes in. I didn't know he was from the Department of Health. And he says, what is this room here? Well, all these people have all these needles in their ears. And I says, well, it's called acupuncture treatment, and it helps to take the edge off. Would you like to try it? Because everybody that came in through the doors had treatment on demand, which means we didn't refuse anybody. Anybody came in, we gave them a treatment if they so wanted to. Even if they just wanted to sit in the room and see what was happening. It was very user-friendly. And so he says to me, so do you have a license to do this? And of course, at that time, there was no licensing for counselors. So I said no. And apparently everybody else who was in the room doing acupuncture left. So I got busted, and I had to.
Got busted, left you on your own.
I had to sign one of these letters stating that I'm unable to do this type of treatment. Otherwise, there'll be consequences. So I think Mike at that time got some signatures together. I don't know how many thousands of signatures that he put together. And he submitted it to New York State. And guess what? In 1990, we became the Lincoln Hospital Detox Acupuncture Training Institute.
We put Lincoln Hospital on the map.
Yes, on the map. That's right.
Otherwise, they would not have ever been known about. And I think they should kiss our you-know-what for that. You know. But they have tried to take us down and throw us under the bus and every other thing. But, hey, we have survived.
Well, interesting enough, we had our patients at the beginning remove their own needles. And what they did was they looked into this little mirror and they were able to pull out each needle one at a time while we supervised. And we had mentioned to them at first, you actually pull out the lung point first, and then you go on to pull out all the low points of the ear, you pull them out, and the last point you pull out is the top point. And the reason for that was if you started from the top and you had a little trickle of blood, it would go down the ear. So, we would have cotton swabs and stuff like that ready. So somebody came in and dropped a dime on us to the New York Health Department and said that the patients were pulling out their own needles. And so forget about it. They, I think they squashed that.
Yep. That's probably why Lincoln Hospital hated us.
Yeah. And then after that, we had to pull out the needles ourselves. And of course, we had a choice of using gloves or without gloves, and that was okay. The only time we used gloves if there was a little speck or a trickle coming out of the ear. But mostly we used cotton swabs or Q-tips.
Now, all of my pregnant women took acupuncture, and 3 or 5 points, and it did nothing, but they told me that it enhanced their pregnancy, made their labor and delivery go better, which of course I didn't believe because I had 6 kids and I know damn good and well mine didn't go that well. So, I mean, I was grateful. I was happy that it was helping you, but that kept the little spark in the back of my mind. Okay. So there was a big controversy as to whether we should give 5 points or 3 points for the needles, but it didn't make any difference because nothing happened. So we would give either 3 or 5 points, and I was a stickler for that. You couldn't sit in the room and don't do your 30 minutes in there, and if you left early, I'd add that day on to your treatment. So you better do it right the first time because the consequences were a little severe. We had a women's rap group because when we started the program, these women all had stuff to talk about. Okay, everybody wanted to talk, but there was no place to talk. And then they wanted to talk among themselves, which meant that they didn't want men in the room. And I can understand that because women, when you got a man around, you want the man to like you. You want to look good. You want to be presentable. Everything should go well. And some of the stories they told, if I was a man, I'd run like hell and never come back. So we set up the women's rap group. Okay, Bob, I know that was you. We set up the women's rap group. That was Friday, and that was so crowded. I mean, they would come early just to sit in the room to get a seat. Now, consequently, the men got jealous, and they wanted a rap group. So I had to get Jesse Morgan to start a men's program, and he put in the men's rap group. So one day, Jesse and I are talking, and we decided, well, maybe we should put the 2 groups together. Jesus Christ, why did I even mention that? Everybody was mad with everybody else. They wasn't speaking. The husbands, the boyfriends, or the whosoever. So we just left it alone. It was the women's rap group and the men's rap group, and never to tell the 2 combined. Okay, that went exceptionally well also. So we had the women's program. You gave urine every day. You saw your counselor every day, acupuncture treatment every day, and you did a group or 2 depending on what your counselor wanted you to do because we had all kind of groups going on. But like I said, everything was over and done by 1 o'clock. So you weren't there all day. And it was an easy program to do, and you could finish in 3 months.
Nancy?
Yes.
Tell about Denise.
Oh, what about Denise?
In Las Vegas.
I don't remember. Tell me.
Sure. The girl who gave birth or went into
Beverly.
labor. Oh, Beverly. Sorry.
Beverly, one of my clients way back when was Beverly. Okay, Beverly was a very nice, quiet, timid girl, except for her drug problem. And she was pregnant. and she had a daughter already that was 3 years old named Danielle, who looked exactly like my granddaughter. So Danielle used to come in my office. I used to keep candy in the bottom drawer of my desk and cookies. So the little kids would come in and they go straight to my office, get their candy and cookies and, come out. So Danielle is in my room on the phone talking, and I'm doing something, watching Beverly. Beverly is not looking too good. She's pregnant, okay? And all of a sudden, I catch her in the middle of a contraction. I said, Beverly, are you okay? No, I'm not. Okay, let me call the ambulance. So I get the midwife. We call the ambulance. We get Beverly out of there. And wait a minute. Danielle is in my office on the phone. Where is she going? Somebody said, well, we're going to call the Bureau of Child Welfare. No, you're not. Not calling them. So I took Danielle home. Okay? I kept Danielle at my house for 3 days, and I dared anybody to tell it. Because I knew if I gave Danielle to the Bureau of Child Welfare, we would never see her again. And God knows, Beverly being in the program might not be able to get her again. Danielle called me a couple of weeks ago. She's 37 and an airline stewardess. Wow. And her mother still keeps in touch with me. She's in Vegas, and she calls me all the time to let me know how her kids were. And she is so appreciative, Beverly. That was 37 years ago. She said, but you have no idea what that program did for me. I said, yes, I do. Because Danielle is an airline stewardess now, doing very, very well. Okay, so that was one of my successes.
Oh.
Yep.
And I have seen people out here, in the supermarket, walking in the street, because I still live where I did when I was in charge of the program. And they still come up to me and say, do you remember me? You, listen, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be alive. I said, look, just thank God we were there to help, okay? Because we had a whole lot of women in the street, and we didn't have time for your what do you call those things? Trials, or we going to try and see if this worked. I had people who were sick and tired and pregnant, and I couldn't wait for your, what do you call them things? Programs, studies to come down the pike. I had women sick. So we had to do something then and there. And I knew it was going to work because Mike said it was going to work. So I knew it was going to work. So we had to do what we needed to do right then. I mean, you could do your studies. I ain't got a problem with that. But I had to get stuff going right then and there. And I was responsible. Whatever happened, I was responsible. Poor Mike, I'd run up the stairs. Mike, I'm coming. And he said, okay. And we'd figure it out. And the next day, we'd have an answer for it.
Nancy.
So, yes.
Nancy, I want you to tell them about the women that would come in that were abused by their pimps and their boyfriends when they came to the doors of Lincoln and you had spoken to them and you found out the situation. When they had to leave, how did you handle that?
We had a secret door. We had a secret door in one of the council's offices that went to the backyard that went to the other street. And no men could come in our area unless you were invited or you were with your lady or I said so. And when I shut the door, that was the end of that. Your ass wasn't getting in. So if they came in and they had an attitude and, my woman, this, that, I don't give a shit about you. Let me show you where you're going. And I would take the girl into Denise's office because Denise had a door go down to the back hall that went out to the backyard that went to the other street so they could get away. For a while, the guys were kind of mad, but hey, who cares? I was in charge, and that meant everything. So they could just step behind me, and I was going to take whatever you thought you were going to bring to the table. I had something for you, okay? But when I was younger, I always thought that if I was ever in charge of something, I was going to be very mindful of the women, because I have 5 kids. I worked in the hospital. Hospital didn't care if your kid had the measles, mumps, impetigo. They didn't give a rat's ass. They just wanted you to come to work. So the people I had working for me, I said, listen, if something is wrong, tell me. I will handle it, because I need to cover your ass and I need to cover mine. If your husband ran off with the lady down the hall, I'm going to give you the days off and I'm going to pay you, because nobody's going to know but me. You know, if your kid is sick, tell me, because you need to stay home and take care of it, because you're no good to me here because you're thinking about home. Then you're bringing your germs in here. I'm still going to pay you. Okay? And nobody will know what the situation is. I'll just put the time in and we'll work off of that. So all of my counselors, listen, I didn't have people go on vacation. Nobody went out sick. Nobody went on vacation because everybody thought they was going to miss something. And the job was, we loved coming to work simply because we made the workplace a nice place to be. Everybody helped everybody else. I never asked any counselor to do anything that I wasn't going to do myself or hadn't done it first. I trained everybody the way I wanted them trained, because when you're dealing with women, you need to give out a lot of TLC, boy, or you ain't going to get nothing done. And they need to see people that look like them or they're not going to pay attention. You know, we didn't have any male counselors in my area. Now, Jesse had the males program and the men went to him. But male counselors and women, that's not happening. That's not going to work. Because first of all, you're not going to get the true picture because they're not going to tell you the story. Women like to be liked, okay? I want somebody to pay attention to me. I want somebody to believe me, and I'm not going to tell a man all the shit I had to do in the street to survive. Doing crack, it's not going to work. So you have to be user-friendly, or you can forget it.
All right, Nancy. Now,
Yes.
Can you tell them a little bit about the urine?
Oh. I had a bathroom and I had a little closet in between the bathroom and my office, okay? So the women would go in there and they'd come out with this cold urine. I said, We started taking temperature of the urine, okay? If the urine wasn't 92 or thereover, you're going to do it again. And then I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You see this little window right here? I can see from my office into the bathroom, so I can see what you're doing. And you know, they believed me. And I had a closet right in the middle that turned into an office, and nobody even thought about that. That was in between my office and the bathroom. I lied, boy. I lied like a Persian rug. Okay? And then I would tell them if they come with the cold urine, I said, okay, listen, you know, the Undertaker parlor of Ortiz is right through the park right there. You know, if you don't, there's something wrong with you because your urine is like 30 degrees. I think you need to go over there or you need to go to the doctor. So we had, we would take temperature of the urine, and you have to take a urine every day. You know, you can't do that spot check and random urines. That's not going to work because somebody's going to try to do something slick. I told, look, there's nobody slicker than me because I was born in New York. So whatever you coming with, I done heard it or seen it. Plus, I got 6 kids. So don't try that. Doesn't work.
Nancy, I have a question. When you were talking about, this is Sarah, when you were talking about, hi, you know, kind of, this is how you have to have a program and in order for it to work. Did you ever travel out of New York to do consulting with other programs for them to get started and, you know, guide them?
Well, yes, kind of, but I think I did because we would go on conferences all the time and everybody would want to know how we did what we did. Other programs were started, but truthfully speaking, I don't know if they had the success that we have because we just were a big camaraderie family, you know, and there was always something wrong. Either the money wasn't right or they didn't want you to take urines every day or they didn't want acupuncture done every day. See, we knew how it was going to work. And if I tell you how it's going to work, you need to pay attention to that and stop taking shortcuts, because shortcuts do not give you good results, you know?
Other people came to Lincoln to study the maternal program.
Oh, yeah, we had a lot
going out. They came in.
Yeah, they came in. Ray-Ban, what's his name? Ralph came to, I love Ralph. Ralph came to the program. He couldn't believe what he was looking at. He said, I've never seen so many women in one place, you know, and so many pregnant women in one place. And, I told him, listen, attach yourself to one of these women and let them tell you how they feel and what they came in and what their situation was. And Ralph had a ball. I think he stayed a week. And when he went back, he attached my program stuff to his protocol and doing fine. Loved it. Everything worked well.
Yeah, he still talks about it and credits you.
Well, I keep telling you, I'm an undiscovered genius. My mother would be quite happy. I tell you, I was my mama's worst child. I'm sure she would be very happy. I need to thank Carlos and Joanne for helping me, because, some things I forget. And when we talk with each other, you kind of remember what was happening way back then at that time.
Nancy, I could listen to you and Joanne and Carlos for hours. You guys are a wealth of amazing history and knowledge.
And you're an appreciative audience.
Let's hope we stay here long enough to make it work. Okay. Who's that, Bob?
I hope so.
That's Bob.
Who's that, Bob?
You don't. It's Bob. You don't recognize him because he's not laughing.
That's the problem. There you go. Now I got it. When they told me you were going to be on the line, I said, that's the first person I'm going to talk to this morning. I got to talk to my man. See how everything is. How are you? Everything going good where you're at?
Pretty fair. We're still running our acupuncture clinic and trying to get more people involved. But yeah, we're doing well.
That's great. I can't wait to see you again.
Well,
I'm glad.
When are you going to be around?
Well, God only knows. So far, so good. Don't stretch it. Don't push it. So far, so good. But we all should get together again. That was fun. That should be fun.
Oh,
what you got going on, Sarah?
Oh, I'm getting myself ready to actually fly over to the U.S. tomorrow.
Okay, that's great.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. We're actually having a get-together of NADA folks in Florida on Saturday. And Carlos,
nice.
Maybe we'll call you in if you're able.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Carlos, you should be going to that. Carlos, you got quiet. Is he still there?
He's still there.
Or did he slide out?
Well, maybe he's taking a little break.
He might have slid out. So did I answer everybody's questions? Anything else you got going on?
You did, Nancy. I showed the pictures. I have the pictures up from the PowerPoint, and I have the last picture up of you and Mike and Carlos.
My Lincoln family with everybody, with Carlos. That was Carlos' retirement party. You remember that, Joanne?
Oh yeah.
That was Carlos' retirement. Oh, we listen. We gave some slamming parties, boy. Oh my God. We gave some great parties. Food, good, dancing, everything. We had big fun. Big fun. And that building is still empty. Empty.
How
but
big
it's going to be reopened.
I hope so. I can't go by there without getting a catch in my throat when I think of all that went on in that building and all the people that we helped. Now, the clinic that they sent us to, okay, Belvis in the basement. I talked to a girlfriend of mine 2 weeks ago, and you know how many patients she said they had? They had 13 patients.
Oh my
you hear what?
gosh.
That is I can't. There isn't even a word for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's an abomination. We're running a clinic with 175, at least 125 people a day, a whole building. We had 12, 13 bathrooms. They have one bathroom for staff and clients. What kind of clinic are you running? They say they do an intense treatment. The patient only comes 3 times a week. What the hell is that? Okay?
Wow.
And women cannot bring children into the area. Well, that's the end of your program right there.
Mm-hmm.
13 clients. I could not believe what I was hearing. But that was all political. Okay? That's all that was. And that's what I think took Mike out of here. You took that program away from him, and that just took him right out of here a lot sooner than he needed to go.
Yep.
A lot sooner. You know?
Yeah.
I remember that day. He said to me, I'm going to retire, so maybe administration will take better care of you. And I begged him. I said, don't do that, because you know that's not going to happen. We're going to be out of here. As soon as you sign that paperwork, they're going to throw us out of this building. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay, I'm back.
Same year.
Thank you, Carlos.
You back?
Just talking about.
Yes, I'm back.
We're just saying thank you.
I was saying something about, I was saying that you need to go to Florida this Saturday, because they're having a lot of people in Florida. You got quiet, Carlos.
Oh no, I had mentioned that already. I'm having this, dental surgery. Yeah.
Oh,
on
all
Friday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I won't be able to travel.
Oh, okay.
I'll be on drugs.
Legally?
Be on drugs. Yes.
Legally. Yeah, boy, legally. All right.
So, did you tell them about the time that we came in and there were pipes missing and it was winter and there
Carlos,
was ice
they're wrapping
and rain
up.
everywhere?
They're saying goodbye.
Oh,
Carlos.
Oh, they are.
Wait a minute.
Goodness,
That's
I came in
why I
too
have
late.
arthritis. That's why I have arthritis in my knees right now. That building for 3 years, we were in that building with no heat and hot water.
That's right.
And
there
I'm
you
sitting
go.
here rubbing reefer cream on my knees, and Bob sent me some cream, and I'm rubbing that on my knees, and the knees ain't doing nothing, so y'all need to come up with something else. Okay?
There you go. That's why I brought it up.
I love you too, Carlos.
Wow.
Yep.
I have one last question. Nancy, is there something any bit of advice or anything you can share with people for who might want to start a clinic?
Well, you got to figure out what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with. And you have to be on their level, okay? And if you're dealing with women, you can't make stuff all day. And they have to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And if they have kids, you have to have somewhere for the kids to go, or you're having no clients. Okay?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay.
All right.
So are we done now?
We are done. Do you feel done? Do you feel like you've shared enough of your story?
No, she's got so much to say.
Me and Carlos and Joanne, we could do this all day. You know that. We could do this all day. We just hit off each other and everything goes well. But I'm glad we can make some comments that make the world still go around and let people know that acupuncture works. Quiet as it kept. Like Carlos said, it's the biggest secret out there. Acupuncture. Because it works, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Okay.
Anything else, anybody?
Okay.
Does anybody have any announcements or anything from their community?
I think that woman, Patricia, is no longer on the call with us.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to see if she had anything.
How many people do we have on the call?
Everyone that you know. There is no one else who.
See, I still got it.
Except who was Patricia?
I don't know. She's a member in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you say she was from the Department of Health or something?
Department of Mental Health
Yeah.
and DEMIS. It's the Connecticut kind of oversight body for addiction services.
Well, that was good that she was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
I do have a question to Naya.
Yes, Joanne.
Go ahead. You said you're putting pictures of Nancy up somewhere? Where?
Yeah, they're on the Zoom call, but I can send you. I have a PDF of the photos that I have that I can send you. But when I edit this, it will show the pictures of Nancy. I have it in a PowerPoint right now. So
Could you send those to me as well?
I sure can, Bob.
I mean, those, some of them I've seen before, but that one with Nancy at the podium and the legacy by Sharon Wynn.
Oh, Sharon.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Yep.
Yeah. I thought it was beautiful. Would somebody like to read it?
I never saw that one before. I never saw that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
What do you mean you never saw it?
With my face screwed up? One of them.
It's in that Guide Points issue right after,
that was a nice one, too.
I like the one at the top of the page at my retirement party where Carlos came and Joanne and everybody, my retirement and birthday party. Now, that's Nancy at the top of the page.
Right.
Yeah.
With the black shirt on, with the white on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you have
That
this issue, Bob?
Me?
I don't.
Bob?
No, Bob.
Send Bob the issue. Look, my man got to have all the stuff. Send him the issue.
All
I will
right.
send him the issue.
Yep.
So most of these pictures are from that Guide Points. This poem is from that. And then I found some pictures in the NADA office files. The one from the conference 2014, the group photo.
That was the one in Albuquerque?
Nashville.
Nashville.
And where?
Nashville.
Nashville? Oh, Albuquerque is 216. I'm looking at it. Nashville. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I have two pictures here of special services. Nancy with you and Maylin and Sheila and Kathy and the whole group.
Oh, the whole crew? My whole crew?
Yeah, your crew, yes.
Okay.
How many was in your
Send them that.
Yeah.
How many
was in my?
Oh, wait a minute. I have this whole thing here, especially with the ones with the child care downstairs.
Yeah, sisters.
Yeah, the sisters, and oh my God, there must be about 30 people here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
send
it's
her
a real
that.
Nice one.
Yeah, could you
Those
send me
might be the pictures that are in the issue that we did about Lincoln. Remember, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of pictures of that you gave us, Nancy, and that Michael.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have that issue, Carlos? Yeah,
this picture's with Max Memorial that we submitted, that they're up there.
Yeah.
They're in the CD or something. So is this Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Carlos.
I didn't get a chance to say hello.
I know. We've been having coffee for this whole hour, but you just didn't know.
Oh, coffee and cake and Jesus Christ. I just had done. Oh man.
There you go.
I like hanging out with you guys.
Huh?
Oh, listen, it's fun.
I know.
Absolutely fun.
Yeah, we still love it.
We should get together more often.
Yeah, we should. We absolutely should.
Yeah.
Whenever you want, just hit us up, and we're available. Right, guys?
There you go.
I'll be in.
Absolutely. Okay, Carlos.
So Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you too.
Hey,
and you enjoy your surgery and taking your legal drugs.
Jesus, I'm just thinking about it now. Remind me.
Love to be aroused for that one when you wake up.
Oh,
Poor Linda. Poor Linda.
Oh, Linda's right here.
Is that just?
So I say hi.
I will. I tell her.
Hey, Linda.
All right.
All right.
All right. It's 1 o'clock, guys. We're gonna be talking forever. So
ciao.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas. Have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
You as well.
Okay. Bye bye.